Hello and welcome to Bags of Action. My name is Pete and this is a 5-minute Bags of Action review of Bruised from 2020. A disgraced MMA fighter finds redemption in the cage and the courage to face her demons when the son she had given up as an infant unexpectedly re-enters her life. This movie was directed by its star, Halle Berry, who was making her directorial debut. The script was written by Michelle Rosenfarb, who's a producer who has only one short film credit under her belt prior to this film, but you wouldn't really know. It doesn't come across like a first-timer's script. Alongside Halle Berry, who plays ex-MMA fighter Jackie Justice, is a really good cast. You've got Adam Canto from X-Men Days of Future Past and also TV's Designated Survivor. You've got Sheila Tim from TV series Harlots and the Irregulars, British actress. You've got Danny Boyd Jr., who absolutely steals the show as her estranged son. He's been in things like Stranger Things and the Watchmen TV series as well. And then you've got Valentina Shevchenko. She's a UFC fighter. So this follows the Rocky and Creed type model, or the later Rocky films, and the Creed model of employing real fighters rather than actors, which is the modern approach to these films. Just give them that extra layer of grittiness and to make those fight scenes more realistic. Now, sports movies, especially boxing and mixed martial arts style ones, tend to fall into two camps. You've got the over-the-top approach, then you've got the gritty. This most definitely falls into the second of those options, sitting alongside the original Rocky and things like Southpaw and maybe Warrior. But in many ways, it's even harsher than any of those films. Now, what I liked about this movie was that the training montages weren't the typical approach. Nothing was quite what you thought it was going to be. Now, because it's so gritty and because it's about her life, not just her fighting, it is a hard watch. Not just for the brutality in the ring or the fights outside of it, which had my wife wincing, I must say, but also Jackie's normal life. She's got an abusive partner, she's got an abusive mother, and a terrible past. It's almost sadness porn at some times, and like about halfway through I was like, oh, this is so draining, I'm not sure why I'm watching it. But we kept going because you need those lows to give you the highs, especially in a sports movie, fight type film. You need people to be pushed down so you can see them come back. And the way things kept getting worse, though, especially for her son who suddenly entered her life, did make it really difficult. Watching the things that the boy goes through is harrowing and uncomfortable, especially as a parent. But as I say, these kind of films need those lows to make the highs even sweeter. It's just a much bigger arc than you might expect. Halle Berry's acting is excellent as ever, and her direction is really interesting too. She's also ridiculously in shape for someone in their mid-50s, and she looks every inch the fighter. You just forget almost the actress and you just totally buy her in this role. It's a real departure from some of the things she's done before as well. Now, the final fight against Lady Killer. Now, in these kind of films, that's kind of where the whole thing is won or lost. It is brutal. It's believable. It's unflinchingly raw. And like the best film protagonist, when they step into the ring, you believe she's every inch the fighter, just as much as her opponent. You don't ever think, oh, okay, that person's pulling their punches, or this one's the actress, this one's the UFC fighter. You totally believe it. If it didn't, if the end fight wasn't as credible, then the rest of the film would just kind of fall by the wayside. But you believe she's a fighter, not just in the ring, but also in life. And that final fight is all the more powerful for what went before. And because of that, that final fight stops this becoming too much of a downbeat melodrama and elevates it into something well worth giving a go. Is it a classic of the genre? No. Is it worth seeing? I'd say definitely, particularly for that final fight and the stellar acting performance from Halle Berry, and as I say, Danny Boyd Jr., who steals the show as her young son. So with all that considered, it's not a classic, but it's very good. I'm going to give Bruised, smack in the middle-ish, a 3 bags of action. Have you seen Bruised? Do you agree with my assessment of it? It's on Netflix. Feel free to comment below, or you can get in touch with us via email, on Facebook or on Twitter. We have new episodes coming out weekly alongside our full-length podcast. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to get notifications. Bags of Action will always be free, but if you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do that at our Ko-fi page.